right? Why decentralized is the word of the century. And I began from talking about privacy issues. Personally, I like to begin from the origin of things. I like to know my whys, okay? Because it's really necessary you know your why, so that when you're talking, you're talking like somebody that is somebody that is knowledgeable, all right? Somebody that is aware of, somebody that has an understanding of what he's saying, not somebody that is just following the tide or just following the crowd. Okay, and I began from privacy issues. I said generally people value their privacy. Okay, as millennials, and not just millennials, generally everybody values privacy. And recently there's been a whole lot of privacy issues because data is huge money, right? So like I said, sorry, Facebook was sued recently because they violated privacy policies. Okay, and you know what it means to have data. When you have data, you have power, and I'm talking about data literally and figuratively. Like if you have MTN data, you feel like, oh my god, I'm on top of the world. When you don't have data, you feel like you're broke. You are disconnected from the world. So when you also have data in terms of information now, not your MTN data, you're powerful. All right, because you can influence people's decision, you can manipulate anything. And this is why it is really harmful if data happens to be in the wrong hands. And of course, with okay, let's not even go into what's happening in Nigeria presently, but yeah, if data gets into the wrong hand, it can be very disastrous. And because people have seen the potential of data and everything, what you can do when you have data, how much power you have when you have data, all right? People are beginning to misuse this data. People are beginning to manipulate it. For example, I'll give you a typical scenario. Facebook, if you're a digital marketer and you have experience with Facebook advertising and all of that, you will notice that as soon as you click on a particular ad on Facebook, maybe mistakenly or intentionally, you start seeing similar ads on your timeline. They begin to pop in your face. Let's say you click on I want to travel to Canada visa ad. All of a sudden you start seeing TOEFL exam, you start seeing ITELS, you start seeing travel to UK. This is data. How did that happen? It's data. Data is powerful. Facebook has installed pixels here and there to track the visitors to that site. So once you click on that particular site, they already have your data. So they know the kind of ads that are going to channel to you. So you see how data can be used to influence your decision. It's not just happening by magic. Maybe this has been happening to some of us, and you're wondering why is this happening? How come I'm seeing the same kinds of ads? No, it's what data can do. All right, it's the power of data. And because of the power that you have when you have data, people are beginning to breach privacy. As a result, people are looking to platforms and anything that is not centralized, anything where your privacy is kept intact. People are naturally drawn to those things, especially in this century. And blockchain has happened to give us that platform. Blockchain is giving us that platform where you don't even have to depend on any central party, any central body to access data or your money or whatever it is. Now, this same thing applies to our financial system. All right, we have a centralized financial system, which is the traditional financial system where you have the banks, you have your central bank and everything regulating your finance. Okay, so there's a central body that regulates everything you do. Excuse me. There's a central body that regulates everything you do in the traditional financial system. But with blockchain, it is decentralized. Now, when we say it's decentralized, it means that there's no central person in charge of anything. Now, the blockchain is run on a series of ledger, public ledger, all right, that everybody in the ecosystem can see. So there's no central bank regulating anything, no Union Bank or GT Bank that is a central body to regulate. Okay, somebody is saying they can't hear me. Oh my god. Okay, if you can hear me, please let me know in the Zoom chat box. Can you hear me now? Cheyenne says you cannot hear me. If you cannot hear me, you might just want to leave the Zoom meeting and join back. It might be from your end. All right. Okay, Tona says he can. Okay, Juliet can hear me. Okay, so it might be from your end. Please kindly leave the Zoom meeting and join again, and you'll probably be able to hear me. Okay, so these days, people are drawn to decentralized finance, and decentralized finance and decentralized everything is what blockchain promises us. Is the promise of the century that blockchain is saying, with me, power is back in your hands. All right, power is back in your hands. It's no longer in the hands of the government. It's no longer in the hands of the central bank. And I'll also give an example with the traditional financial system. Now, in the next meeting, we're going to be looking at the pitfalls of the traditional financial system, because if you do not know if you don't know what blockchain came to solve, you will never appreciate the industry. The reason why blockchain first of all came to be is because there are a series of problems with the traditional financial system. This is why people started looking for an alternative, and that was what brought about blockchain. And one of the major pitfalls of the traditional financial system is the fact that the supply of money is usually higher than the demand for money. All right. Now, we all know how that the central bank is in charge of printing money and all of that. So there are times when, and they take that directive from the federal government, right? So when the government needs money, and they can just give a directive for the central bank to print a particular amount of money, and there's so much money in the economy, and you're seeing inflation, and the value of your money is just useless. Now, over time, because of these policies of the central bank, of the federal government, you keep seeing that the value of your money is decreasing with time. As time goes on, I said in the last Zoom meeting that my dad used to say something like, back then, if you had 100,000 naira, you're a rich man. But you can't say that today, because even 100,000 is not enough to cater for the needs of a single person. One single person, one person, unmarried man, unmarried lady. 100k is not enough to cater for your needs. Why? Because the value of your currency keeps depreciating because of inflation. And it's very sad because we said that we live in a very harsh economy. The salary structures are not changing, salaries are not increasing. We can see cases of people earning the same amount of salary for 3 years, and in 3 years you don't want to know the measure of inflation. Inflation has probably doubled, in the space of that 3 years, yet the salary has not increased. So this is the major pitfall of the traditional financial system. You keep working so hard, you work so hard, especially those in Lagos and other commercial cities, and then inflation is just going to render the value of all your sleepless nights useless. So this has been a major problem. And why? Because the traditional financial system is governed by a central authority. All right, it's not decentralized. You don't have a say. It's just a central authority that has power, that controls the demand and the supply of money. They can just wake up and print and destroy everything you've labored for. So the blockchain actually came to fix this particular issue. How? By giving us a decentralized financial system. Now, in the blockchain, there is no central system that is controlling the supply and demand for money. The forces, the normal market forces of demand and supply, controls everything in the blockchain industry. As a matter of fact, one appeal of the blockchain industry, and especially cryptocurrencies, is their fixed supply. All right, we know that the supply of Bitcoin is fixed. We can never have more than that. We can never have less than that. So because of this, there's no central authority. There's no manipulation of the price of Bitcoin. There's no manipulation of the supply of Bitcoin. And of course, the normal rule of demand and supply in economics states that when the demand for something is higher than the supply, there's an increase in price. And this is what we see happening with cryptocurrencies. So this is one of the major pitfalls that blockchain came to fix. All right. And this is why you see that your cryptocurrency is a very good store of value. This is why you see that Bitcoin keeps increasing every year. This is why you see that Ethereum is hitting an all-time high, because it is decentralized. It is decentralized, and this is why you're seeing that people are getting drawn more and more and more and more to decentralized systems. And another reason is the fact that generally people have trust issues. All right. So in the traditional economic system, the central authorities, the central bank, and all what have you, is the party or is the institution that helps to regulate this trust. Because if I want to send money to maybe Tona, for example, and I don't know Tona from anywhere, I probably bought something from him. Tona doesn't trust me. I'm a Nigerian. Generally, humans have trust issues. Okay, so so humans have trust issues. Tona doesn't trust me. There needs to be an institution, a third party that can facilitate that transaction. And that happens to be the banks in the traditional financial system. But in the blockchain system, I don't need that central authority. The blockchain system runs independently of the central authority. It's decentralized, so it's even better because I'm not the only one that's saying. I'm not the only one saying the transaction that's happening. It's a full ecosystem, and everybody has access to this ecosystem. So transactions on the blockchain are transparent. All right. Now we're already delving into the advantages or the features of the blockchain system, but yeah, it's fine. So these are some of the pitfalls that the blockchain industry came to solve. All right, and now we need to look at something. In the course of my research, and one thing you should know is that as long as you're in this industry, you should just know that you should always be researching, constantly researching, because like I said, it's an evolving industry. Okay, so I want to talk about something. Now, there's some economic analysts, investment analysts and all what have you, and they've been talking about, with the whole hype in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and all of that, what is going to happen to the traditional economy? Some persons are saying that is the traditional economy going to fizzle out, is cryptocurrency going to replace fiat currencies and all of that? So while we're talking about decentralized finance, let's look into that. Now, the truth is, in as much as the blockchain has a lot of advantages, like massive advantages, like I said, we've not talked about the advantages of blockchain. We're just talking about decentralized finance, yeah, and why it's appealing to people. So in as much as the blockchain has so much advantages, it also has so much advantage that stand as a threat to the government of many countries. Now, this is why, if you notice, it's not just Nigeria that has issues with blockchain. India, so many countries of the world are usually, if you're following blockchain news, maybe you're following the news on Cointelegraph and all of that, CoinGecko and all of that, everything, you'll see that so many countries have issues with blockchain. You see countries placing ban on cryptocurrencies. This is happening, that is happening. Why is that? Have you ever asked yourself why this is? It's because the blockchain introduces transparency into anything. Like we've been saying, generally humans have a trust issue, but with blockchain now, it's no longer just Tone and I that are seeing this transaction. Everybody can track this transaction. And the most beautiful part of it, transactions on the blockchain system cannot be altered. I can't go back and say and undo what I've done. It's not possible with blockchain. It's there forever, but it cannot be tampered with. And this is one reason why the government of countries are fighting blockchain, because generally we don't have a transparent government, especially in Nigeria. Our government is not transparent. In other parts of the world, so the government is not transparent. And then introducing blockchain or allowing blockchain is going to spell doom for them, because it means that we've come to the end of snake swallowed money, monkey swallowed money, something is missing, or that they want to probe this industry, and all of a sudden we're seeing that the office is on fire and everything, all the documents, everything is gone. The introduction of blockchain means transparency has come to stay. And this is the reason why the government of Nigeria especially will fight it, because we don't have a transparent government. We don't even have an accountable government, and they don't even plan to be. Okay, so is blockchain, seeing the advantages of it, is it going to wipe out the traditional industry, the traditional financial system? And the answer is no, because in as much as the adoption of blockchain is growing every day, there's still a part of that population that will never understand blockchain. They'll never understand how to use cryptocurrencies. And now, especially our parents' generation, the Generation X and the baby boomers, all right, they will never understand blockchain because one, they're not exactly open to new things as we are. Now, last time I said there are a few exceptions. There's some people that even though they are quite aged, they still believe in cryptocurrency, which is good, all right. But the most of them generally, they're not open to this technology. So I don't see my mom understanding cryptocurrency. I don't see my mom trying to send me Bitcoin. She would rather do the normal fiat currency that she understands. Now, another reason why blockchain might not actually take over the traditional financial system is because it would mean lesser cost for organizations. See, the blockchain runs on there's something called smart contracts in Ethereum based in the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, smart contract is almost like an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, but this time it is run on the blockchain system. So it's like once the conditions are met, for example, I want to send Tona money again. Now I don't need to use a central institution known as GT Bank or any other bank. All I need to do is to enter into a smart contract with Tona, and then we would the way we would work the smart contract is that as soon as these conditions are met, this smart contract is fulfilled. All right. So as soon as the conditions that we I spell out, and Tona spells out, as soon as these conditions are met, the smart contract is effected. It is transparent. So there's no case of maybe Tona is going to cheat me, or I'm going. It's once the conditions are met, is effective. Once they are not met, it's not effective. So this is going to mean lesser cost for organizations, because organizations are going to prefer to automate everything, rather than depending on the bank, for example, to pay salaries and then charge you for taking this action month after month. You might just want to you might just want to put it on the blockchain, and that's it. Lesser cost, more transparency, more trust. All right. So these are some of the things that are going to happen as people adopt blockchain more. But the question, like I said, that is on every investor's mind is blockchain going to take over the traditional system? And to which I say no. But then with the way things are going, it's very clear that in the next few years and in the nearest future, there are going to be more blockchain integrated platforms, more blockchain transactions, more of blockchain activities compared to the traditional financial system. And what this means is that the traditional financial system is going to be less relevant. All right. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to be relevant at all, because like I mentioned, there's a part of the population that would always stick to the traditional financial system. And of course, there are some parts of the world that might not eventually accept this blockchain technology. Even in the next 50 years, they might still struggle to accept the blockchain technology. For example, I don't think I might go to a shop, a mart in Nigeria, and say I want to pay using cryptocurrencies. They might not allow that. Most people might just feel more comfortable using fiat currency. But you should know, as a young person that you are, that this technology is going to take over at least 80%. And what this means is that, like we've been talking about the revolution that is coming to the job, to workforce, and to the job ecosystem generally, you should know that this means many jobs are going to be at risk. All right. And of course, you can see that COVID-19 has proven that to us, that there are some jobs that are going to go obsolete very soon. So if you're in the banking industry, if you are in any other industry that can be affected by blockchain, you should begin to make your moves and understand this technology. So it doesn't happen that this technology just comes and takes you out of your job and you're wondering how it happened, where it happened from. So that is why you should position yourself and understand how this technology is working, so you can begin to take position. By the way, I'm going to say this. There's someone that just joined, I shared this testimonial. I don't know if I shared it on on the free groups about somebody that just joined our paid platform, and she's barely a month on the paid platform, and she's already gotten a blockchain job. Now this is the trend. So the earlier we begin to, set ourselves and position ourselves in this industry, the better for us. So guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here, and I believe you now understand the meaning of decentralized. You understand why when the next time you see decentralized probably on the news, you understand, at least you have an idea of what decentralized finance means and why a lot of persons seem to be drawn to this word in this day and in this age. So I think we're going to call it a wrap here. If you have any questions, if you have any contributions, you can kindly ask or drop your comments. You can also unmute yourself and ask your questions. On a closing note, I'm going to say this, that the blockchain industry is massive. Now, we're still dealing with the theoretical part. By the time we begin to enter the practical part, you'll be amazed. I shared something on my WhatsApp today. If you don't have my number, I'm going to drop my number in the chat box so you can save my number, all right? Or you can probably just send me a message if you have any question. I put something on my WhatsApp today. I said there was a particular token I called on my paid platform, and I called that token on the 12th of February, and that token was $2 as of when I called it. All right, that was 12th of February. As at yesterday, which happens to be the 2nd of May, and this is about less than 3 months interval, that token has moved from $2 to $14. Now that's a 7 times in profit. Imagine if I put $100 in that token. That means by now, which is less than 3 months, I should have at least $700. Now, I am yet to find the investment vehicle, the organization that can give you such returns in 3 months. All right, so the crypto industry is massive, like it's crazy. It's one industry that can turn you into a millionaire like overnight, as in 24 hours. I was also sharing on my timeline how my boss, the person who taught me crypto and is my boss in the crypto space, how he just bought a Benz, all right, 2021 model. I mean, that is millions of naira. 2021 Benz, like na Benzo, it's not Toyota Camry. Benz 2021 model, and his portfolio is not even shaking one bit. This person is less than 30. All right, so this industry, if you were in the Zoom meeting last week, I talked about how we've been hearing about the wealth shift. It's here, and crypto has brought the wealth shift. It's not even going to bring it. It has started already. So it's left to you. You can either sit back and keep waiting for the next wealth shift that's going to come. Maybe there's going to be another age after this age. Well, I don't know, and I don't know how long it's going to take. But you can decide to also take a plunge and join in this trend now that it's still early, now that this industry is still young. All right, so please, I'll be taking in your question. If you have questions, please type on the Zoom chat box. Okay, I thought Tuna had a question. Send in your questions. I'll be waiting before we call it a wrap. So guys, this is the industry in which we find ourselves. This is 2021 Benz. I mean, it's crazy. I saw the pictures. I was wowed. This guy, I mean, it's just like when you spend, when you just spend money for data, you don't feel it like it's data money. That's how it felt to him. Like, it's amazing. This is somebody that studied. Guess what? The shocking part of this whole story is that this is somebody that studied medicine and surgery. Like medicine, and imagine spending. I know medicine and surgery in Nigerian universities is at least 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. All right, 7 years to study medicine and surgery, and all of a sudden you dump it. Nobody even knows him for medicine and surgery. Everybody knows him for crypto. You get? So my wonderful listeners, imagine, just think about another friend who studied civil engineering. Okay, so he studied civil engineering for 6 years, I think, or 7 years, I don't know, and then he's back doing crypto full time. He left his 9 to 5. If people are taking so much risk and jumping into this trend, then I think it's something that each and every one of us should look into before it's too late. Okay, so someone said, why is my voice so? Oh, thank you so much. I'm blushing. Okay, so someone is saying, how much is my paid platform? Okay, you can just come into my DM, and then I can give you more information on that. Okay, I'm gonna drop my number. Okay, that's my number in the Zoom chat box. You can send me a message. Someone is saying, how frequent is this training? Tona. Okay, so someone is saying, how frequent is this training? It's every Fridays and Sundays, all right? And it's going to be on WhatsApp for now. Like I said, we're going to other platforms, other social media platforms very soon. So for now, we're still on WhatsApp. So you can join in Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. We decided to reschedule this because this today is a public holiday and we felt that more people would be available. All right, so yeah. Okay, is there any further question? Is there any question that I did not take? Uh, okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I believe we don't have any more questions, so we can call it a wrap. So for everyone on the free WhatsApp group, definitely I drop signals from time to time. So I'm going to be doing more of that. I'm going to be dropping relevant information, useful information for each and every one of us, and of course free signals from time to time while our training is on. But like I said, we have a paid platform. If you want to join that, if you want to know more about that, send me a DM and I'll be waiting for your questions. All right, thank you so much for joining in. The recording of this edition will be on the YouTube channel, which will be launching tomorrow. So we can always we can go back and rewatch. Thank you so much for listening. All right, have a wonderful evening, guys. See ya.